Today, we have found two representatives, the 16-inch thin gaming laptop, the Predator Helios Neo 16S AI, and the 14-inch AI esports workstation, the Predator Triton 14 AI. Next, let's see what kind of secret moves these two laptops possess to reconcile the conflict between slimness and performance, and find out which computer is actually right for you. My first impression upon getting my hands on the Helios Neo 16S AI was simply thin. The entire machine adopts a nearly uniform thickness design. According to our actual measurements, the thickest point is merely 18.7 millimeters. The rear of the chassis features a protruding design with a thickness consistent with the system end, measuring just 12.6 millimeters. The weight is also just over 2.1 kilograms. In terms of external connectivity, the machine features a configuration of 2 USB-C and 3 USB-A ports, and naturally, Thunderbolt 4 is not absent. The two Type-A ports on the right side run at genuine speeds, and the HDMI is, of course, the full-spec FRL version. What's rare is that despite the ultra-thin chassis, they still managed to squeeze in a 2.5G wired Ethernet port. The original 230-watt adapter weighs 803 grams, which leaves a bit of room for optimization, but the travel weight with the original charger is still under 3 kilograms. Users with higher portability demands can carry a PD charger instead. The Helios Neo 16S AI has crammed the latest Intel Core Ultra 9 275HX into a system end that is only 12.6 millimeters thick. It utilizes the Arrow Lake architecture with an 8 performance plus 16 efficiency core configuration, and the maximum turbo frequency hits 5.4 gigahertz. The version we tested is paired with an RTX 5070 graphics card currently starting at $1,999. No more suspense. Let's look at its performance. This Core Ultra 9 185H processor achieved a single core score of over 2,200 and a multi-core score of over 34,000 in Cinebench R23. In the R23 multi-core loop test, it finally stabilized around 30,900 points. The lead is quite significant. For an ultra-thin gaming laptop, this is absolutely overpowered. Looking at the single stress FPU test results, we can see that the Helios Neo 16S AI still manages to sustain an 86-watt performance output despite its slim chassis. The fan noise was controlled at 53.2 decibels. Correspondingly, in productivity tests, the Helios Neo 16S AI, relying on the all-around hexagonal strength of the Core Ultra 9 275HX, maintains a leading level of performance, whether in Microsoft Office tasks, Photoshop editing, or Premiere Pro video editing. Regarding graphics performance, since it still manages a full-power 115-watt release, its 3D Mark scores are essentially on par with other thicker gaming laptops equipped with the 5070. In actual gaming tests at 1080p resolution, the Helios Neo 16S AI's Ultra 9 275HX holds a significant advantage in high frame-rate online games like CS2, Dota 2, and League of Legends. When the resolution is bumped up to 2K, the advantage shrinks slightly as the load shifts more towards the GPU. But Dota 2 can still max out at over 200 frames per second, fully utilizing this 240Hz ultra-high refresh rate screen. Through the dual stress test, we can see that the power distribution is 40 watts of CPU plus 95 watts of GPU. The total system performance output is 135 watts, with core temperatures staying below 80 degrees Celsius. At this point, the noise level is 51.3 decibels, which is surprisingly lower than during the CPU-only stress test. Beyond its impressive performance, the daily user experience of this laptop is also excellent. This 16-inch screen is a 2.5K 240Hz ultra-high refresh rate OLED panel, which is rare at this price point. In our tests, whether in SDR or HDR mode, full screen brightness sits around 400 nits. The 10% window peak brightness reaches 600 nits. It is passed Display HDR True Black 500 certification, covers 100% of the P3 color gamut, and has an average Delta E of 1.86. The top-mounted 180p camera supports IR facial recognition and is equipped with 3 microphone noise cancellation. The keyboard features a fairly conventional design with full-sized arrow keys and a number pad, supports 4-zone RGB backlighting, and allows one-touch access to the Predator control center. There's also a performance mode toggle key in the top left corner of the keyboard. Users with stricter noise requirements can switch to the 120-watt system performance mode, which lowers the noise about 2 decibels. Finally, let's take a look at the teardown. The first thing that catches the eye is the cooling system with dual fans and 5 heat pipes using a traditional quad exhaust design. It also employs their signature 5th generation 3D Aeroblade metal fans. Below that are dual SO-DIMM memory slots, which is quite rare for a chassis of this thickness. The 32GB version we tested came with 2 sticks of original DDR5 6400 MHz SO-DIMM memory. The measured bandwidth is indeed higher than machines on the same platform running 5600 MHz. 2 M.2 2280 slots are also present, despite the thin chassis. The original SSD is a Hynix PC801, a standard high-speed PCIe Gen 4 drive with TLC NAND. The pre-installed wireless card is a Killer AX1675i supporting Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.3. The 76 watt-hour battery below achieved a UL Procyon battery life score of 5 hours and 47 minutes in power power-saving mode, with a performance score of 146,000. If the Helios Neo 16S AI is like welcome rain after a long drought for the ultra-thin gaming laptop category, the newly launched Predator Triton 14 AI chooses to offer a truly unique product in the already somewhat crowded 14-inch market. Officially positioned as an AI esports workstation with a stylus, it comes equipped with the Core Ultra 9 288V processor, featuring a 4P plus 4 LPE core configuration and a maximum turbo frequency of 5.1 GHz. It also packs an RTX 5070 graphics card. It is arguably the only laptop on the market currently combining Lunar Lake with discrete graphics, priced at $2,499. If you have high standards for chassis build quality, the Predator Triton 14 AI shouldn't disappoint. With its CNC diamond cut chassis paired with a fine sandblasting finish and an anti-fingerprint coating throughout the machine, you can feel the difference as soon as you pick it up. This laptop also features a unified glass palm rest paired with a force pad pressure-sensitive touchpad. They've even differentiated the tactile feel between the palm rest and touchpad areas, so you don't have to worry about sliding your finger in the wrong place during blind operation. Additionally, this touchpad supports 4,096 levels of pressure sensitivity. A stylus is included in the box. Aside from professional design needs, I'm sure rhythm game players will also be ecstatic. For the display, the Triton 14 AI sports a 2880 by 1800 resolution, 120Hz refresh rate OLED touchscreen. In SDR mode, we measure the brightness at around 390 nits with 100% P3 color gamut coverage and an average delta E of 1.84. In HDR mode, peak window brightness is 581 nits, passing display HDR True Black 500 certification. Both sides of the chassis feature one USB-C and one USB-A ports, satisfying the need for flexibility on the go. It also utilizes a 140-watt PD 3.1 EPR power supply solution. The HDMI port is also full spec. The thickest part of the chassis is 15.7 millimeters, 17.2 millimeters at T4. The measured weight is approximately 1.56 kilograms. The original adapter weighs about 470 grams, which is comparable to some compact steel Canon integrated graphics laptops. Next, let's cut to the chase and look at the performance and cooling that everyone is most curious about. Naturally, raw CPU benchmarking isn't the strong suit of the Lunar Lake platform, but this Core Ultra 9 288V processor still achieved a Cinebench R23 score of over 2,000 for single core and over 11,000 for multi-core. The multi-core loop test shows a flat line. In the single stress FPU test, we can see that the CPU performance output reaches 36 watts, which basically squeezes every drop out of the 288V. The core temperature stays under 70 degrees Celsius, which is quite cool. The noise level is a mere 52.6 decibels. In productivity software tests, daily office performance doesn't lag behind other platform machines. Performance in Photoshop and Premiere Pro basically matches the standard level of discrete graphics laptops. Compared to pure Lunar Lake integrated graphics platforms, the improvement is significant. Regarding graphics performance, its single stress power consumption reaches 108 watts, close to the maximum full blood level. Therefore, the 3D Mark scores don't show much of a gap compared to other gaming laptops with the 5070. Before testing games, let's look at its dual stress test performance. With the strongest turbo mode enabled, the default power distribution is approximately 15 watts plus 107 watts, though the power draw fluctuates slightly. We then disabled dynamic boost for testing, and it stabilized at 30 watts for the CPU and 95 watts for the GPU. The total system performance is 125 watts, and the core temperatures didn't exceed limits. The noise level at this point was 51.3 decibels. However, considering the adapter is only rated for 140 watts, the system will draw power from the battery during prolonged full loads. If this concerns you, using the slightly lower performance mode results in a dual stress power draw of 15 watts plus 85 watts. In this mode, the noise drops significantly to 47.6 decibels. In actual gaming, at 1080p resolution, the performance difference between the two modes is very negligible. Only in games with exceptionally high CPU demands, like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, does a noticeable gap appear. Therefore, for playing the majority of games, the 100-watt system performance mode is sufficient. While the frame rates remain basically unchanged, the noise is quieter and the heat is lower. This is not only due to the excellent energy efficiency of the Ultra 9 288, but also reflects Predator's tuning expertise as a top-tier brand. After increasing the resolution to 2K, the Ultra 9 288 performs equally well. It even outperforms the HX370 platform with the same graphics card in CS2, Tomb Raider, and Cyberpunk 2017.
CS2 is about 19% higher, and Cyberpunk 2077 leads by 10%. So how does it achieve a 125W performance output within this slender 14-inch chassis? Removing the back cover reveals a massive vapor chamber. Beneath it lies an ultra-large sheet of graphene thermal interface material. This is the world's first gaming PC to use this material. The two 5th-generation 3D Aero Blade metal fans support air intake through the keyboard and also feature a design that directs airflow internally to some extent. The memory is naturally MOP, meaning it's non-replaceable, with LPDDR5X 8533 specifications. The original SSD is a 2TB Hynix PC801. The measured speeds are shown in the image. The 76 watt-hour battery below achieved a UL Procyon battery life of 9 hours and 45 minutes with a performance score of 126,000. For a gaming laptop with discrete graphics, this is a pretty good result, though there is still a gap compared to other Lunar Lake laptops relying solely on integrated graphics. Competition in the thin and light gaming and all-purpose laptop markets has become increasingly fierce over the past 2 years, and the two Acer's Predator submitted this year both have strong distinctive features. The Helios Neo 16 AI manages to squeeze in an HX processor, dual memory slots, dual M.2 2280 drive bays, and a wired Ethernet port into an ultra-thin chassis less than 19mm thick. I don't make choices, I want them all. Moreover, despite the high baseline configuration, it still offers a very sincere price comparable to other top-tier traditional gaming laptops. The Triton 14 AI, on the other hand, brings a unique platform configuration selection, featuring a pressure-sensitive touchpad with stylus support, a 6-speaker system enhanced by DTS-X Ultra, and an OLED touchscreen. Plus, it achieves a total system performance output of 125W in a chassis weighing less than 1.6 kilograms. Its gaming performance at 2K resolution is also respectable, exploring the future direction of mobile esports workstations for us. I believe that by now, you should already have an answer as to which laptop suits you best. Okay, that wraps up this episode. If you have any questions about these two computers or Predator gaming laptops in general, feel free to discuss them in the comment section below. See you in the next video. Bye.